associated social media family, to your next edition of Retro Gamia, where I, the boy wonderful Ian Wallace, am joined by those retro guys of Retro Ridoctopus, and we talk games. Games of old, games of new. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my panelists, my esteemed colleagues in crime here.
Colleagues in corruption.
Go ahead, gents, introduce yourself. Or reintroduce yourself.
I am Boss Rush Mode, and now it's time for someone else to say their name.
I am Nintendo. No, it's Tim's turn.
Wait, I thought you were Nintendo 25.
Yeah, that's who I thought he was, too.
Man, I was looking forward to 24 more of you. I'm 8-Bit Alchemy. That's it.
Hi, I'm Nintendo 25.
And I am still the boy
Blink,
wonderful Wallace. And this is Retro Gamia. We talk games of old, games of new. We bring up different topics, try to give you guys a little tips and tricks, awesome giveaways, all kind of awesome things happening, amazing things happening here. Thank you for joining us. This show's topic, I was actually really looking forward to. We're going to be talking about all the reimaginings, remakes, redones, remixes,
remastered, reboot.
We're going to be discussing a little bit of everything and actually talking about the difference between them, because this is obviously a topic that came up as it caused a little bit of confunction between what we wanted to discuss. So we'll make sure you guys know what the difference is, and I'll give you our loose definitions. And if you know anything different than we do, please in the comments down below, let us know. Giveaway. This month's giveaway. I'm actually really excited about this. As some of you may have known, if you have seen the show and tell posts from the month of May, or any of the Who Dares Wins advertisements in the group the Friday before that post, Amalga Mania is now offering a subscription box to all of its members and the general public. Some of them will include action figures, some will include memorabilia, some will include just books. There's different levels, different ones. They're customizable. They come with great T-shirts, some Amalga merch, and some awesome goodies. This show, we're going to be giving away one of the subscription bags to one of our lucky viewers. We had to do a gamer one, so I wanted to show you guys what we're going to be working with.
Nice.
Nice.
Show me what you're working with.
And it's got a bunch of awesome stuff in here. It's got a video game manga. Comes with a gift set. This is probably my favorite part of this giveaway.
Oh, we actually
it's a Game Boy mug and 2 mugs and a notebook, bottle opener, and they change when you put hot and cold liquids.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
I have the mug of that, and it's awesome.
All right, cool. Yeah, and it comes with a loop pin, a Galaga loop pin. And
nice.
That fresh Galaga loot.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
And a little eraser, a little game joystick eraser.
Nice.
This one comes with a $25 card. You can choose whether it's PlayStation, Wii, or Xbox. We have all 3. So whatever one you want, you just let us know. And it comes with 2 little figures, 2 little action figures, Mario and Luigi.
Cool.
Oh, I love those. Those are so well done.
Yeah, man, I love them too. They're awesome. These are by Jack's Fanatics. So sorry, Jack's Pacific. So definitely 2 of them.
Man, I didn't know Jack's Pacific still made stuff.
Oh yeah, they got I've seen a bunch of their Mario stuff, and I've seen some Halo. They make like little Halo, the same size figure. I've seen a couple.
Cool.
Of those. Yep. So what do you got to do in order to get the Amalga bag or Amalga subscription bag? Let us know what some of your favorite remakes are. Some of the games you want to see remade. Let us know in the comments, and we'll pick a winner at random. And that's it. That's all you got to do. That's all to it.
It's easy. Why wouldn't you?
Free stuff. Questions.
Answers.
Questions. You know I always have questions.
You're the master of questions.
Oh, I gotta have them because it's the only way I learn stuff.
That's how you know stuff. That's how you figure out the things.
Gotta ask. My first question: what's the best remake you have played recently? You can only pick one. It's got to be the best. Get the most fun. or enjoyed the most, or just like the music, or whatever your reasons are, the best one you've played of recent. We will go with Nintendo 25, 8-bit, Boss, and then end up with me.
Okay. This I didn't play this recently, but it's one I've played a bunch of times in the past, and that would be Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes for the GameCube. I love the original, and I think what they did on the GameCube version, it was just they did like a way better job. It kind of like it has like the graphics from like Metal Gear Solid 2. It has like the first person perspective in certain parts and whatever, and it's just everything about that remake is fantastic. I think they kept the same voice actors too, I believe.
Awesome. So it was
Think
David
so, yeah.
Hayter and the original crew. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. 8-bit.
I gotta go with the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I was a huge fan of Spyro the Dragon when I was growing up, playing it on the PlayStation, renting it from Blockbuster, and I just have like all these fond memories and stuff of the Spyro games. And when I picked up the Reignited trilogy, that like everything I remembered loving and feeling about the original games when I played it back in the day was all still there. It was like note for note perfect, but the graphics and everything were amazing. They were so improved, like the whole game, like the graphics, the colors, the music. I mean, they knocked it out of the park. I don't think I've ever been more impressed with how beautiful a remake was, but also staying so true to the like original gameplay and how it felt. And the other thing about the remake that I just adored was the composer, Stuart Copeland. He actually re-recorded the entire soundtrack for this game, and he did this interesting layering thing where if Spyro was moving kind of slowly, he would pull back like the drums and the percussion, and then when you started to like run really fast, he would ramp up the drums and like make it more percussive and make it so intense. So every single song in the game has this like layering to it, and it's incredibly impressive. But if for some reason you don't want that new style, you can just toggle the original soundtrack at any point too. So
Ooh, okay.
That's cool.
I adored this trilogy is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played any of those games, but yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Tim. Like the graphics are like absolutely gorgeous.
And just the feel of the controls and everything is spot on. You know, sometimes you got
That's
to
what
worry
I've
about
heard.
like, yeah, you sometimes you're worried about like, oh, you know, is there going to be input lag? Is it not going to feel quite right? But nope, it's perfect. So
Yeah,
no.
that's
Yeah,
what I've heard.
I'm in the same boat with Nintendo. I didn't really play much of the originals, but I have played the Reignited trilogy, and it is really good. It's solid. I had a lot of fun with it.
All right. Boss.
All right. Well, the best remake I have played somewhat recently would be last year's Resident Evil 2 remake. Obviously remade from RE2 for the good old PlayStation and Shias. It's like one of those games where at first you start off and everything is just like so familiar. Of course, like the graphics are way updated and like the controls are more modernized. It's not like the tank controls anymore. And then it just kind of starts doing its own thing. So it still feels like really fresh and exciting, and you still don't exactly know what's going to come around. I mean, you figure there's going to be a zombie around the corner, but there's a few twists and turns that kept you on your toes, kept it fresh, and that was one of the best. Not just remakes, one of the best games I've played in a while too. I enjoyed that game a lot.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm actually gonna piggyback with Boss on this one. That was my pick as well. Resident Evil 2 remake was just awesome, like all around. And again, we're gonna talk a little bit about the definitions between a remastered and a remake. But for a remake, definitely I would go Resident Evil 2. It blew me out of the water. I played the first two games on PlayStation when they came out, and I just wasn't really like. I like Dino Crisis better at the time when it was a pick between the two. It was like I'll play Dino Crisis. No, Resident Evil's not really
This
all
one's
that.
got dinosaurs.
Right, and so it wasn't really
Crisis.
much of exactly.
I love a game with a good crisis.
Yeah, it was a
Time
no
Crisis,
brainer,
Dino
right?
Crisis, Crisis
So,
Force.
and I went from playing that one to Dino Crisis, but then as I played the remake, it was like this is not the same game like whatsoever. And again, the graphics and it being updated and made a little bit later in the future. I get, why the difference is it was just a completely different game. And it has so many different modes, and you could play from two different sides of the story, and it was just an awesome playthrough, and I never got sick of it. I'm actually considering playing through it again because I'm a little bored with some of the things I got.
I played through it. I played through it 4 times at least.
Yeah, I think I'm on my third, or this will be my third when I pick. I already played through it twice. I played once with Leon, once with Claire.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about starting over again with Leon because there's just some stuff that
I ended up doing exactly. I did 2 with each, doing the same thing. Like, second time around was just trying to get what I missed the first time around.
Around that 4th playthrough, I think I'll be gold.
I'm determined to get at least 50% of the items.
And you know what? That's one of the awesome things about video game. I think subconsciously, that's kind of cathartic without being obviously cathartic, is that you can make mistakes. You can redo things. Like, it doesn't matter how poorly it's like in life. If you just, how you had that conversation, everyone's had it. Oh, if I could only go back to the age of 18, or if I could only go back to being 21, and
right.
in the game you can't. You can literally go back to the beginning and start all over and do it right. So that's kind of awesome that you get to have that option somewhere. My next question: name 3 games that deserve a remake. 3 games that you've played, awesome games, you love them, but they deserve a remake. They got to be done again. We'll go in the reverse mode. We'll go to Boss, 8-bit, Nintendo, and then finish off with the board.
Okay, 3 games that I would like to see remade, revamped, reimagined, or re-whatever. Just get them back in the limelight.
Bring them back, right.
Yeah, 2 of them are for the PlayStation 2. And first one I'll mention is a game called Dark Watch. It's a first-person shooter with a really awesome aesthetic where it's like Western meets goth meets steampunk, and it's just a pretty wild game. Thing with me, like, if it's a first-person shooter before the PlayStation 3, for some reason I just have trouble kind of like getting used to the controls. I don't know if it's just a generation, a console generation thing where it's just that's my cutoff point, the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Any first-person shooter before that, I just have trouble with it. So I've played a chunk of it, but I can't really get very far, and I feel like it's because I'm just not adapt enough with the PS2 style of first-person shooters.
Okay.
But I love the aesthetic a lot. The voice acting's cheesy, but the game's pretty self-aware of how ridiculous it is, and it's M for mature, so it's not pulling any punches. There's vampire-y, sexy scenes and all this sort of jazz. I was going to say something else by accident there, but
that was also there.
Yeah, it's like holy shit. There's probably some of that too off the camera, But it was a really fun game, and I would love to have a nice little polished up, updated version. I can feel a bit more comfortable kind of getting through the whole thing and not be a freaking schleb. And the second one I'd like to does someone going to say something?
No.
Okay, so the second one I want to mention from the PlayStation 2 is a game called God Hand. It's a game that was produced or developed by Clover Studios and published by Capcom. It was Clover Studios' last game. Because Clover Studios also did the Okami and Beautiful Joe series. So they did a lot of weird games, that studio.
Beautiful Joe is one of my favorites. That's one of my pocket favorites.
A cool game.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
So I guess Capcom decided to shut down Clover Studios 3 days after the North American release of God Hand. So,
oh man,
jeez.
So it was just like that was the number was up for them, unfortunately. But this game, it's all right. Think of a fast action, tough as nails, 3D brawler with a fixed behind the character camera with tank controls. I know that sounds awful.
Wow.
I know that sounds putrid.
Tank Man.
But this game is actually ridiculously fun. And the humor is just off the wall. Nothing makes sense, but it knows it doesn't make sense. It doesn't care. It's just redonkulous. And I'm not one of the directors from the Resident Evil series, actually. The name is escaping me. I think he did Resident Evil 4.
Shinji Mikami.
I believe that's the name, yeah. And he also was involved in this project. I don't know if he was the director or whatever, but yeah, he was heavily involved in the project. So it's got his fingerprints all over it.
Okay.
So, and the third game I'd like to mention is going all the way back to the NES. It's a game I love a lot. It's another Capcom game. It's a game that people do like, but it's just not one that just comes up in conversation a lot. It's a game called Section Z. And this game was a pretty unique shooter from back in the day where it's
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 like
like
a
it's
level shooter where you float through and station. Is it Station Z or Section Z?
Section Z.
Okay, I remember this one. This is on Nintendo.
Yes.
Yes,
It was
I remember.
originally an arcade game, but it got ported to Nintendo, and it was like much different than the arcade. You know, the arcade was
Yeah.
done. It was a guy with a gun, you shoot left and right, and that concept was pretty similar. But it was revamped for the NES because the NES was not able to replicate arcade hardware. So yeah, this is a game I played a lot as a kid. It was a pretty unique shooter for the time, where it's a character shooter, and when you get to the end of a section, you would typically have like these two beams, one on the top and one on the bottom. I'll put my hands where you can see them. And it's a maze, so you kind of have to like keep track. All right, I'm in this section. This beam goes here. This beam goes here. There's secret areas. There's secret beams. There's a whole bunch of things. You got to destroy certain generators before other beams will even become accessible. I like this game a lot. I wish more people kind of rode that wagon.
Yeah, it was a great game. I played it myself, and I used to love playing that. I've never heard anybody else. I think you're like the only other person I remember like bringing it up as a favorite, because it really is. It's like you get into it, like different levels and how you move. It's awesome.
Yeah, and fun fact, my avatar, the little if you go to my Boss Rush Mode YouTube page or Retro Ridoctopus, you'll see my little avatar is like this weird like red and white, blue and yellow, whatever, armored character. His name is Ultrax, and he's like based on the character from Section Z, like loosely, but enough that you can make the connection.
Nice.
So that game and I have some ties.
Okay.
Nice.
8-bit.
Okay, I got a few here. One of these technically already got a remaster. Like, it got an HD version for Xbox 360 and PS3, but I want more. That's not enough for me.
Okay.
Torque HD.
Hey, this is Retro Gaming.
Text is so much clearer.
You're a host here. You can have it your way.
Right. So I'm at Burger King. I'm gonna have it my way. So that game is Beyond Good and Evil. And this was a game from Ubisoft, which came out on the GameCube and PS2. And this game was like it was a 3D action adventure game. It had fairly decent combat. You played as this character Jade. She fought with a bow staff, and the whole world that this universe had established, there was all kinds of different animal people. There was like pig people and fish people, and all kinds of different races that they established, which were really cool. And the main gameplay was like you were in this flooded world, and you would travel around on this little like hovercraft thing, go from island to island, completing different missions and furthering on this story that was like rife with political intrigue. And there was this major corporation that was force feeding the public all kinds of false information, and it turns out that behind the scenes they're actually like kidnapping people and extracting their life essence and doing all kinds of naughty things with them. And this game,
a minor corporation, by the way.
A minor corporation? Yeah, they just don't get talked about.
Major corporation.
They are. Minor corporations, they're not a big deal yet. And this game,
up and coming corporation.
The thing I think this game would benefit the most from getting like a remake is primarily like a graphical overhaul, and maybe just like expanding the world a little bit more, because you could tell they couldn't do a ton of locations like when it's kind of limited like on the hardware, the PS2 and stuff like that. So I feel like there could be a lot more locations, and the graphics could definitely be improved, because one of the main aspects was like photography. You could actually go around and photograph like the wildlife, and you played as a investigative like journalist almost. So you would like go behind the scenes, take pictures of like key events, and then publish them in newspapers to try and like turn the people's hearts and minds against this corporation and stuff. And I love this game, and it has been a game that Ubisoft has claimed they've been working on a sequel for a very long time. But from what I've seen of that sequel, it looks like it's going very far away from what the original was. And so I kind of just want that original to get a second shot at it. So yes, that's my first pick. And then the second game that I'll go with will be a Sega Saturn title, and that is going to be Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is the holy grail of Sega Saturn games. It's worth like $600, if you want just any kind of copy of it on eBay. It's very hard to get your hands on. And from what people say, if you've played the Panzer Dragoon games, they're like a on rails shooter where you play as a dragon flying around, and you have a reticle where you can shoot guys, and it plays like a plane shoot 'em up kind of thing,
Okay.
but in 3D.
Kind of
But
like an
Panzer Dragoon
afterburner, but
Saga's
with a
idea,
dragon.
yes,
The Afterburn with
yes,
dragons.
like
That's dope.
Burner, yes. That's a good comparison. Yep. But Panzer Dragoon Saga came out after they came out with the first two, and they decided to make this game like a full-on RPG. And you would get your own dragon. You would raise it up from a baby to an adult. It could mutate in all different ways. You had like a big open world you could fly around. They did a ton of stuff with it. Like Sega put all their time and money into this game, and unfortunately, it just didn't get produced that many copies in America, and it's almost impossible to find these days. And so this is a game that I'm like, man, I would kill if they would remake this game. And actually, I'm hoping that my dreams come true, because they just recently released a remake of the original Panzer Dragoon on the Nintendo Switch. And so they said that depending on how that game sells, they'll consider doing Panzer Dragoon 2, and then the ultimate would be if they could get to Saga. So they're thinking about it, but it also sort of hinges on, I think, how much life they think this series has. But I would love that. That would be great. Are we doing 3 or 2? What do we got?
Great.
3. So the third one I have is Valkyrie Profile 2. So I love Valkyrie Profile. It's an amazing RPG series. I've seen some love for that game on our Retro Ridoctopus Facebook page. The second one only came out on the PS2. It was a very late generation game. It came out when the PS3 was like either out or just about to come out.
PS too late.
Yeah, a little too late. And it was just a phenomenal RPG. Like, this game had some of the best graphics I've seen on the system, and unfortunately, there's no way to play it outside of owning it on the PS2. And I think that the first Valkyrie Profile game got a remake, remaster, if you want to call it that, on the PSP. So the sequel, I think, needs it, and it really would help to like revive this series, because it's one of my favorites as far as RPGs go. It's all Norse mythology. You have, you play as a Valkyrie who's the chooser of the slain, and as you go through these different dungeons, you find these like weapons of fallen soldiers that are stuck in the ground, and you go up to them and you investigate them, and you will revive that character's spirit, and you'll have them join your party. And one of the coolest things about it is that every time you play the game, like when you start a new save file, the characters you get can be completely different. Like, each individual, location where a weapon can be has like anywhere from 2 to 3 characters that can potentially spawn. And it's just totally random. You only get one shot at it. So it's like, it has a lot of replay value, has a great soundtrack. The battle system's phenomenal. Look at some gameplay for this thing. But I think that game deserves a remake for sure, with modern console hardware.
Okay.
Nice.
And Joe.
That's it.
My turn, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get the obvious one out of the way, and I've mentioned it in the last episode, and that'll be a remake of Chrono Trigger. As much as I love this game, I've kind of like grown away from the whole turn-based system, and I would love it to be like kind of like what they did with Final Fantasy VII, but not be like Final Fantasy VII, like as far as like play-wise. I would love it to be like kind of like the Tales of Symphonia type of RPG. I think that would be a lot of fun, and you can make it be like 3 players at once, because in the original you can only use 3 characters during battle. So why not have it be like a co-op type game too? So I think that would be pretty amazing. The second game that I'll mention would have to be Shatterhand.
I was actually thinking that too, actually.
Awesome.
That's a good
game.
game.
I mean, I'd love the game. Yeah, it's tough as shit, but the game is awesome. I love the fact that you earn money in the game and you can use it to buy power-ups. You can also get like, you collect like these letters. You collect the A's and B's, which is, I guess, it's like the Greek letter.
Yeah, like alpha and
or
beta.
whatever.
Yep.
And and you can do like different combinations, and you can like summon like a robot that does like a different ability. Like one's like a yo-yo bot, a laser bot, sword bot, a Rico bot, grenade bot, pyro bot, yo-yo bot. I said yo-yo bot already.
But he's in there again
But he's
because he
in there
goes and
again.
comes back.
Yo-yo.
Yeah. According to this list,
Yo-yo
there's
bot.
two of them. There's two of them. And I guess they both act differently. I guess I don't know, whatever. In a bounce bot, and depending on the combinations, because you can do like 3 different combinations of either A or B's, and yeah, it's a ton of fun. You can select stages like in Mega Man. The graphics are just fantastic. The animation's fantastic.
That soundtrack,
The
though.
soundtrack is like probably like one of the best on the
I
system.
think, yeah, it might be my number one. Like, it's really up there.
It's really good.
It
It's really
is,
good.
It is fantastic.
And my last game is Comic Zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
It popped in my head, while playing Streets of Rage 4, and everyone knows how much I loathe that game. I think it's fucking garbage, but artistically, I think Comic Zone would fit that better than Streets of Rage 4. And I don't know if you guys ever played Comic Zone before, but it's basically like you're playing a comic book, and your character is this artist. I forget what his name is, but he's an artist that gets zapped into his own creation, his own comic, and it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up. You can do like different combinations depending on which way you're pointing the directional pad, and it's really tough, but it's awesome. I think even for the Sega Genesis, it's pretty awesome.
It's one of the coolest looking games on the Genesis. It really is.
sure.
Like,
Sure.
it's in so many Sega collections, and if you boot that game up now, you're like, wow, this still looks cool. So yeah, I would love to see that. That'd be an awesome remake.
Yeah, if they did Comic Zone like how they did with Streets of Rage 4, but keep it side scrolling, beat 'em up, that'd be freaking awesome. So those are my picks.
The 3 games I would like to see remade, I think, the most. And by remake, we're talking. And again, before I even get into mine, let's go into the definitions a little bit. A remake of a game it's another version of a game that was created before, obviously, the remake version, but it has a different element to it, like different parts of the story, different downloadable content, something to make it different than the original. Correct?
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say it's something more than just like a slight cosmetic upgrade. Whereas like a remaster is just like taking the original product and then you're just gonna maybe bump the frame rate up, increase a little bit of the graphical fidelity, make it widescreen, just like very minor. Yeah, a little bit of a new coat of paint. Whereas a remake is like a lot more like that's being
like start from scratch, pretty much.
Okay. All right. So. In that case, then yeah, these are remakes that I would. Well, then I have a remaster that I want to see done, and then remakes. For remakes, how about Siphon Filter from Sony Interactive Entertainment from the original PlayStation?
I never actually played those games.
Me neither.
It's a lot of fun. It was a shooter, a third-person shooter. For the time, obviously, if you try to play through a version of it now, it's kind of, it's PlayStation, so it's going to be really hard to grasp on. But then that game was it's a lot of fun. And the story was awesome. So I would love to see a remake of the Siphon Filter game, because I think if you bring it out for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and redo the story and go with some of the original overtones, it's going to be badass. Like, it's with the graphics and what they're able to do right now, I think that it would be way, way up there as far as, and I think they would get some good love from it. So if you're listening to Sony, please remake Siphon Filter for me, and I'm sure a couple of other people. The second one, it's kind of a toss-up because there have been other versions of the game, but I want a remake of the original version. Obviously, I'm wearing the T-shirt here.
Blaster Master, yeah.
I would love a new Blaster Master game. I don't care if Nintendo makes it. I don't care if Microsoft or Sony. I don't care who makes it. I would specifically grab whatever console I needed to play this game.
You do know there are 2 of those, right? There are
Yes.
2 new Blaster Master games that came out in the last like 3 years.
And are they of the same? I mean, is it a remake of the original story?
I
It's a
think that
totally new game.
Okay.
yeah.
Like it's not the original Blaster Master. It's just like we took the graphics, we like basically took the style of the original and then made 2 new Blaster Master games. So your dream came true today. You can play those.
Now, are they on the Switch?
Yes.
They're on the Switch, but they're also I think coming to there might be on PS4 now. I know they were coming to another console.
If they're on
Yeah.
PS4, I will be playing them this week.
Me too, because
Also-
I've played the first one. The first one's awesome, and I wanted to play the second one.
And
Yeah,
I'm like,
I had
it
the
might be a
second
timed
one-
exclusive or something like that. I don't know how it works, but like definitely look into it. I think it's
and
gonna get.
I'm kind of anti-Switch. There's nothing wrong with the Switch. I think it's an awesome portable gaming system, and you can plug it into your TV and play it on your screen and everything like that. It's just the pricing for it being a handheld. It completely turned me off. Like,
Well, I mean, it's not a handheld. It's a home console you can take on the go. Like that's the better way to think of it.
Okay, that's the way.
It has the games, it has the graphics of like a major home console. It's just that you can take it on the go too.
Okay,
That's like a better way to think.
I was a little confused. At least knowing that now, it makes me.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. I've gotten a lot of
use. It's an awesome system. Like that's like literally, it's like the only system that I use. Of all the systems that I have, the Switch is the one I use.
Okay,
I'm like the opposite. I had the Switch and then I sold it because I barely played it.
Hey, I guess some mileage may vary.
I played Blaster Master Zero though.
There you go. That was a good choice.
I played Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Cappy.
Oh, that game was so
Mario
good.
Cappy, yeah.
All right, so Blaster Master would definitely be, I think, my second. Again, I haven't played the Switch versions yet, or if they're on the PlayStation 4, I haven't played those versions yet, but I am planning to. So I guess I will let you guys know in the next episode of Retro Gamia what I thought of those.
I hope they're on like the PlayStation or Xbox because I want to play them again.
Me too. Like I mean, I haven't yet, but I definitely will, and I'll let you guys know what I think. So, boss, you let me know if you find them first and tell me where they are. My third, and Nintendo kind of brought this up. So it's technically a remake of the remake. Can we please have Twin Snakes for something other than GameCube? Please? Anything other than GameCube? I mean, don't get me wrong. I played Sons of Liberty, great game, and the mechanics are going to be pretty much the same, but I would love to play Twin Snakes on like PlayStation 4 or Xbox or some other type of media, or just make it available in like the classics or something. It would be dope to play that version of the game again. So if you could remake that remake, that'd be awesome.
Also to walk back 1 second, so the Blaster Master games, those were both originally just on the Switch, but now they're also on Steam, so they're on the PC. So Boss Rush, I know that's the other platform you don't have,
Correct.
which is annoying.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what I was thinking of. Those got ported like a year later.
Graphics card in my desktop to be able to run Steam and play, because I think I'm definitely gonna play it if it's on Steam.
Yeah, they came out like 2 years after the Switch version, so that's why it was like quite a while.
Or maybe I'll just break down and get a Switch. They're a lot less.
It's cheaper than a graphics card.
And
They're like finding one though.
Yeah, they're hard to find now.
Are they really?
Yeah, because everyone bought them because of coronavirus. Because they're like a perfect system. Yeah.
All right. Well,
But
now
yeah,
that
so
the epidemic's over, maybe Nintendo will refurbish a few and send them out to the general public. I'll grab
Be
them.
careful, Ian. The Switch Lite does not hook up to your TV.
yeah, don't get the Switch
don't-
Lite.
don't
Do
get-
not
the
get the
light,
light.
yeah.
Okay, do not get the light. And they do
can
have
if-
that.
I was gonna say you can if you plan on just doing it as handheld. You can't hook it up to your TV.
But it seems like your issue
aware.
with it was that it was an expensive handheld, so the light would
Right,
probably
so-
not be the way to go. Yeah.
All right, then no,
yeah.
I'll definitely get the
Yeah,
regular one.
get the OG.
Yeah.
Okay. And my final question. What, in your opinion, are some games that were remade that should not have been remade? I'm actually going to go first.
You do it. Do it up.
I have been holding this gripe since I played it, and I've been like, I couldn't wait. I wanted to pounce all over this question. So we'll start with me. We'll go to Boss Rush. We'll go to 8-Bit, and then we'll end up with Joe this time. I'm not going to pick too many of them because there aren't too many that I played that were remastered or redone where I have a problem. But
I've only got one myself.
Yeah, I am so pissed about Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, no
Yeah.
kidding.
So pissed. I can't, like, it's, I don't even have to, I'm trying to formulate the words without being completely
Don't spoil
inappropriate.
anything.
I'm not going to spoil
Okay.
anything. I'm
Okay.
going to shut up. I'm just saying, what? Why did you guys do it that way? Like, it's just not what I expected. Great game. Played wonderfully. Loved playing through it. Would play it again. But it's just not what I expected. Just not at all what and I am a huge, everyone knows I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, and I was very disappointed to say the least. Not in the game as it was remade, but just its overall packaging could have been a lot better and a lot more endowed, given that the game was a 4-disc game. I felt like it was over way too quick, and I didn't really get much of that Final Fantasy VII experience. So definitely, well, it's not that it shouldn't have been remade, but it should not have been remade
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been remade a lot closer to the original. Add whatever you want to it, but it would have been nice to have at least an abridged version of the original. And this was like something completely.
Yeah, it's like they turned it into a hack and slash type game.
And like it's just not. It wasn't. I didn't get that role playing feel. I didn't get the. Well, I can't say that. But there's a lot of things I didn't get to do.
You need to slow your roll real fast here.
Yeah,
you're approaching some territory.
No, I got to think of my man 8-bit. I won't say that. But all I'm going to say is there's a lot that I wish I could have done that I didn't get to do in this game. And that definitely left me wanting. I'm hoping that there's going to be one whole hell of a lot of DLC for this game.
Yeah, I mean, I played the demo. My brother has the demo, well, he has the game now, but I played the demo, and I thought it was fine. I mean, then again, I have no nostalgia for the original.
Okay, so then
7, so to me, it didn't really matter. I mean, yeah, I thought it was an odd choice to turn into a hack and slash type of game, but I don't know. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best examples of like the true definition of a remake, where it's like, it is not the same game. We didn't
from the ground up. It's like
we didn't take the original game and make it nicer. We completely changed it. So like when you say you're going to remake it, it's like how you think of a movie. When a movie comes out and it's a remake, it's not similar to the original. It's just based on the original.
In that case,
so it's a similar definition.
In that case, I changed my gripe a little
bit.
But
I understand your point, because a lot of people feel that same way, and I get that, because the terminology, it muddies the water, it confuses things. So when you say when they say remake, it's like, this is not the game you grew up with. This is new Final Fantasy VII.
It's like a reimagining, pretty much.
That's a better word.
I don't know.
That's a better word for that.
Thank you. When I hear reimagining, I know what I'm in for. Well, a remake, I'm thinking they took Final Fantasy VII and remade it.
Yeah.
That's the way it feels.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's not well labeled.
Yeah, it just totally wasn't what it was. So yeah, if anything, give me a remastered.
Yes.
Is that the correct terminology?
Yeah. Which they have on the PS4. It's like the up-res version. I played through that too, and that was great.
Was it really? How'd you like the up?
It's like they did a great job. Like all the character models looked better. The music was intact, but like they had some quality of life features. There was like option to turn off random encounters or to fast forward through parts if you don't want to. But it was the original game. It just all looked a little bit nicer. Like it still felt like a PS1 game, but I think that's worth your time. It's like $10.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I actually saw that. I was like,
and you got the trophies in there, which are fun to try and get. It gives you like a new achievement list for like one of your old favorites to try and go get. So that's cool too.
All right, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll spend some time with the remaster on PlayStation 4. Okay, cool. We'll see. I'll let you guys know how that goes as well. Boss.
All right. So the game that I'm gonna pick from the PlayStation 3, good old Ubisoft. They did a little thing. I love the property. But this
I know what he's going to say.
This game did not come out very well. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time Reshelled. So this game was a disappointment, to say the least. I mean, the graphics were fine, I suppose. But, I mean, I don't know. I guess just being old school, I like the sprites better from the old arcade version. But the graphics weren't bad. But that was like probably the best thing you can say about the game. The controls were like weird because I guess they added like diagonal, so it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
The music was redone, and it's terrible. The music is just
It's not even the same type of music. It's just
it's
completely
bad.
original music for this
Yeah.
particular remake.
So it's like, okay, so it's like, all right, here we're calling it Turtles in Time, and yeah, it's kind of Turtles in Time, but everything is worse about it. So it's like, oh,
Right.
and it's pretty much panned. I don't even think you can get it in the PlayStation's network store anymore. I mean, I still
Yeah, I
have
think
it
they
on
took
my
it out.
PS3. I mean, I still
Yeah.
have it. It's still downloaded, but I never play it. It's like, nah. But I feel it's I can't. I don't want to delete it because I know I can't get it back. Just to have it. Like, all right, I have it. So just so I can say that I have it. And
Right.
just in case some idiots are like, oh, we're gonna buy PS3s for like hundreds of dollars if it has that game on it. I'm like, okay, I've got Scott Pilgrim on there too if you want them.
Right. Right.
Also impossible to buy.
Yeah,
Right.
but I hear that's
It
I don't
might
know,
be coming
they're-
back. It might be
That's what I
coming back.
hear. There's some
Oh, cool.
whisperings about that.
Cool.
Or at least the movie anyway.
Okay, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
8-bit games
All
that
right.
were remade that should not be remade.
So as far as like remake, I don't know. I haven't actually played like any remakes that I felt like didn't need to be remade or were bad. But one of the games that I thought was like, why did they bother? As far as like a remaster, was The Last of Us. They came out with The Last of Us on the PS4 as a Last of Us remastered edition, and I'm like, what needs to be remastered about arguably the best looking game of the last console generation? Like, it's already pretty much a perfect thing according to a lot of people. I even
felt the
haven't
same way
played
about God
this
of War
game.
3. Yeah, I felt that
Yeah,
shit
it's
about that
weird.
same way.
They
Why'd you do that?
I think Sony just like for some reason it was a hot thing to do, and when they were bringing games onto the PS4, they just slapped that remastered name on there, and I'm like, that doesn't really mean anything. The game already was like a AAA game. It looks amazing. The thing plays awesome, and you had it on the last console generation. So essentially, it's just a port. Like it's just a direct transfer.
Yeah,
It's not a
transfer. Right?
remaster. You don't need to, and you don't need to remaster The Last of Us. It's
And
fairly
they didn't
mastered.
add anything to
Like-
it, or like
Yeah, they made it
DLC.
throw in the DLCs or something for free, but it's like I don't count that. That's just like a collector's edition essentially. So that's about all I'll say for that one. Is
It's
like,
a re-release.
it's
Right?
a re-release.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Not
That's
a
just so
remaster.
weird to me. It's like not like that game is very old, so why would they?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why
I
would
couldn't
Yeah.
they do that?
out
It
myself.
just doesn't
And
make sense.
again, I
to
felt
me.
the same way about God of War.
God of War 3. Yeah.
PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I was like, I get bringing it over, but then just say that's what you're doing because I don't get the remastered angle.
Right. Nothing needs to be changed.
It was already mastered.
Right.
It was pretty mastered before you remastered.
Pretty
it.
mastered already. Yeah.
Right, so yeah, I
Right.
definitely agree 100%. That was some remakes or remasters are unnecessary, to say the very least. Just port it, call it what it is.
Right.
Right.
Nintendo.
This is gonna be very short. I honestly don't have one. I can't think of anything because I don't really play a lot of remakes or remasters or whatever. But if I do, I end up liking them. So I don't know. I mean, if anything, I'll probably go with Greg's answer. Reshelved, Trails in Time.
Okay, cool. Now that my questions are over, dream picks. All right, we kind of went over some of the games that we wanted to see remastered, redone, reimagined, something. I'm gonna give you guys a chance. You're running your own video game company. All right. First project, hot off the press. The first project you want to see done in your video game company, it has to be done. First game, cut right to the chase. This is what we're doing. Everyone, put your computers down and let's focus on this thing. What game would you direct your company to remaster initially as soon as you come into the building? We'll go the reverse version. We'll go with Joe. We'll go with 8-bit. Boss will end up with me.
Okay. I would have to say Super C because it's my favorite Contra game of all time. Just to have that remade, just would be amazing. They can probably just add new levels, add new weapons if they wanted to. They could probably add new characters like they've done with Ninja Warriors.
Okay.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
All right. 8-bit.
All right, I'm gonna pick a really random game from the Super Nintendo's library. It's been a favorite of mine forever. This game's called Evo: The Search for Eden,
Okay.
and
Oh, right. I remember this one. Yeah.
it is a really unique side-scrolling like action game where you basically go through the timeline of like evolution. So you start out as like a little fish, and then you're able to like fight enemies and gain experience points, and you can evolve different parts of your creature. You can evolve their jaw, their fin, their tail, whatever, and you can like make the ultimate fish. And then once you beat the aquatic area, your fish transitions onto land and it grows feet and it becomes a lizard, and then you have to like evolve through the ranks of being a lizard and then a mammal and so on and so forth. And it's like this whole timeline of the evolution of organisms, but it's packaged in like this neat side-scrolling like action RPG kind of game. And I've always loved this game. I think this game is still one of the most unique games I've ever played. And I'm like a huge science nerd, and I love like biology and stuff like that. So if I could see a game like that be remade today with like all the modern conventions that we have, I would send my company immediately on that. I'm like, yo, buy the rights to this game. It's probably dirt cheap, and make it happen. That's what I want to see.
All right, boss.
All right. I mean, I almost want to say the Section Z thing again, but make it like a real like modern kind of, maybe even like a third-person shooter or a first-person shooter even. I don't know how you'd get the maze aspect. I don't know, but I'm gonna cheese out on that. And I'm actually gonna go even further back, and I'm actually gonna like maybe just modernize like an arcade port, just like redo the graphics, but have the gameplay very, 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 very similar to the arcade versions of Punch Out and Super Punch Out. Make it one big game.
Nice.
So it'll have like I think it's like 10 fighters, I think, 11 fighters. I think 6 from Punch Out and 5 from Super Punch Out. So there's like a double package deal, but it's not like, it was back then in like 83 and 84. I mean, they were good for the time, but they're kind of blocky and they zoom in and out, and they, it's very pixelated.
Okay.
They smooth it out. So, and Punch Out hasn't had a entry in the franchise since the Wii in what was that, 2008 or something like that, 2009.
Yeah, 2009. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been a minute.
Yeah.
So I could use a new Punch Out game.
I mean, sure, you can play as Mac in the new.
Yeah, if
Smash
it's
Bros,
Lomax
yeah.
not involved, it kind of changes it all.
Yeah.
And I would need at least 3 of the original fighters. The original guys like Glass Joe, Ball.
Yeah, I'm saying like the entire full roster is the first 2 games.
All right, then that's
First 2
something.
arcade.
I'm in there. Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah, I would love to play that.
Which another thing, the whole dual monitor thing that they had in the arcades. How come they never ported this game to the DS?
Right.
Why was that never a thing? It just
That
drove
would
me
have
nuts.
been so dope. It
would have been amazing.
Just like it was in the arcade. Have the
Yeah,
button
exactly.
to the top, the other guy. That'd be dope.
It made sense to me, but
This
apparently
is why
Nintendo was like,
Push
nah.
needs to be running things in Nintendo. I mean, just one more reason.
Yep.
I'm
I'm available.
right. For me, and this was kind of left field. Of course, I would have my backdoor project of Final Fantasy VII going. Maybe a Metal Gear project going. But honestly, the absolute first game I would have remade, remastered, whatever you want to call it, I think I would just have it remastered, or no, remade, because I would want to add a couple of levels to it and maybe some DLC. I don't know if you guys remember, but the Punisher game for the PlayStation 2.
I never played that one.
I haven't played that, yeah.
It was probably the best video adaptation of a game. I mean, I'm sorry, the best video game adaptation of a comic book ever. Period.
Wow.
It was damn good. It was like a third person and a first person kind of shooter. It was like, I don't know, you can call it first person, but you didn't have like the aim down the sights. You had like this kind of first
third person. Yeah.
Yeah, it almost was like it was a 2 1/4 person shooter. And there were times where you get to torture the bad guys to give you information so that you could advance, and there was like different situations you would have them in where you like one he would like put their head in a heat press, and there was another one where you would like slam it in the car door. I mean, the game was just ridiculously violent and like over the top gore, and like It was just ridiculous, but it was the Punisher. It
Nice.
was what you would expect from if you've ever picked up a Punisher comic. This game was
Nice.
set to Punisher, and it was awesome. I would definitely redo it. I do believe that for 3, they came out with this online version you could play, and it was I hear good things about it, but it wasn't, from what I saw when I played the demo, it was not like that PlayStation 2 version, which had a good story and had these little inserts where Frank Castle was talking, and it was just very Punisher. Like, you felt like this was a Punisher story. So I would definitely, that would be my first one, is I would remake the PlayStation 2 version of the Punisher video.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
I've only played the arcade.
Now, the
Punisher.
arcade game version is my favorite version of any Punisher game. The one where it was you and Nick Fury, and it was a beat 'em up, side scroll beat 'em up. Definitely, hands down, my favorite Punisher game ever. I played it. I have the I have it on my my retro. I'm sorry, my Raspberry, and I play it on different versions wherever I can get my hands on it. It's an awesome game. Definitely time consuming and lots of fun. You can easily get lost in it. Kind of like the original Streets of Rage or Golden Axe or any of those games where if you put the quarter in, or if you play in the arcade version, you put the quarter in and you just gotta keep playing. Or if you're playing the console version, it's just something you can't put down. So definitely an awesome notable mention is that Punisher side scroll and beat 'em up arcade version. Definitely in there. Closing arguments. Don't forget about the giveaway. All you gotta do is let us know what your favorite remakes are, and you will get your Amalga subscription bag. Awesome gaming giveaway bag present prize for you guys. In the comments down below, use your thumbs. What God gave you 2 of them for. Do some typing. Let us know. And any pics or gifs or YouTube links or actual footage of you playing some of your favorite remakes. Whatever you got, we will pick a random winner and hook you up. Thank you to the guys of Retro Ridoctopus for joining me once again and being awesome as usual.
Thank you for having us, man.
Oh, always my pleasure to have you guys. And next episode, what do we got? Actually, Nintendo's going to be picking our topic for the next show.
Hopefully we'll finally do that Super Mario Brothers episode.
You guys want to be around for the Super Duper Mario X episode. That's right. You want to be around for it. We're going to have a special guest, and we're going to have some kick-ass prizes, and of course, Mario. So, be around. Yeah, be there, be square, get your one-ups, your mushrooms, your raccoon leaves, whatever you got.
Wings.
Bring them through. You're gonna
Magic
need
flutes.
Your Tanukis, your
Frog suits.
your Hammer Brothers
Hammer Bros suit.
Yeah, all of them. You bring all your Super Mario powers. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite versions of Mario throughout time. We're going to be talking about some of the newer ones, some of the older ones. We have an awesome guest panel. So please, stay tuned. And we'll still be awesome and see you guys then.